Hi there! I'm here today with a special unboxing for you. You know I don't usually do unboxings, so it must be important. Let's see what we have here. You know this is very important because it has that tape on it that says it's sealed. And if the tape isn't sealed when you go to open it, to refuse it. Whatever could it be? There's an owner's manual. We're going to set that aside. There's a warranty card. We're going to set that aside. There's a little battery. We're going to set that aside. Looks like some kind of battery. We'll set that aside. That might be something of a clue. We'll set that aside. Cables and stuff. We'll set that aside. Oh, hey look, a little remote. We'll set that aside. Some kind of a round thing. We'll set that aside. What's this? We'll set that aside. You ready? This is what we're really excited about. It's even in a bag. This is the camera body. Let's put it together and show you what it is. So here's what we have. This is a Canon XF400. And as you know, if you've been watching the channel, I've been using Canon XA10 cameras. And this is actually very similar to the XA10 in terms of its construction and in terms of how it works. The handle's detachable. And it'll operate without the handle, but I always use the handle because it has the XLR inputs. These are for external audio. And the way you put it together is you just slide this guy here, tighten these down, and they can be finger tight. You don't have to tighten the crap out of it. And then this one screws down over the cold shoe here. And then something I found a little curious about this is it actually comes with a lens cap, but the hood that it comes with has a built-in lens cover. So this goes on like so. Hello. And as you can see, it's winking at you. This part is a piece that I usually do not use, and I didn't have the ones installed most of the time on my XA10s either. I'll show you what it is. It's a microphone holder that goes on like this, and the two little screws that I pulled out just screw into there, and then the idea is that you put your external microphone here and plug it into your XLR jacks here. So I'm not going to do that though, because I don't intend to install this. So what's 4K ultra high definition? When you watch a regular high definition show, like what's been on the channel for the past 5 or 10 years, the number of pixels in the screen is 1920 wide by 1080 vertically. Ultra HD is 3840 end to end and 2160 from top to bottom. So what you've got is twice as many pixels in the same amount of space. And so what that means is it's more like being there. So when you look at something with your eyes, you're not limited by pixels like you are when you're recording or watching something on a screen. Pixels are the little dots, right, that make up the picture. So the more pixels you can fit into the screen, the more like being there it is. So that's what Ultra 4K is. Something else that's different about these new cameras compared to what I've been using is that these can record in 60 frames per second. The other cameras that I've been using over the past several years record in only 30 frames per second. And what that means to a viewer is, especially when it comes to steam-related videos, like a steam engine, because water effects and mist, well, I guess mist is a water effect, isn't it? They're all accentuated by a higher frame rate. When you have 60 frames per second, those effects become more crisp and clearer. So that's going to be really cool for shooting anything steam-related. Something else cool about these new cameras is they have a bigger sensor inside. And the sensor is what processes the colors. And a smaller sensor, like in the older cameras, still does a good job. But this sensor is, I think, about 50% bigger. So the color separation lines are going to be a lot crisper. So just the overall picture is going to be a lot better in that way too. So something to think about is the difference between a standard HD and an Ultra HD is a lot like, do you remember when everybody was watching VHS tapes on VCRs and then DVDs came out and people switched very quickly to DVD technology because the picture looked so much better? It's like that, only it's actually a bigger difference when you talk about, because you're actually doubling the number of pixels. The number of pixels between VHS to DVD was not doubling. It was maybe a 50% or so increase, somewhere in that range. So that's really what we're talking about here in terms of definition. So something else I want to mention is I've created a special YouTube channel that's just for the TSG train crew. Those are the people that support the channel on Patreon. And the two really cool things about that channel, the biggest one for me, is that there are no ads on the channel. The second biggest thing is that they're the beta testers for 4K. So most of what comes out on that channel is going to be between now and the end of the year in 4K. Most of what comes out on this channel is going to still be in 1080 while I figure out, all the nuances of using this new technology. So if you're interested in seeing more stuff on 4K and also ad-free, you're welcome to go to patreon.com/TSG Multimedia and sign up there. So something else I want to mention is if you're watching on a phone or a small screen like that, you may not notice as much of a difference as if you're watching on a really large screen, like a big computer monitor, or even better yet, a really large Ultra HD TV, or even just a really large HD TV. These programs are going to look even better than what they've looked like for the past several years. So that's our big announcement. I want to thank the TSG train crew for being a huge part of making this happen. And I'll see you on the podcast next week.